Hey guys, it's Lisa back with another video for you for Lisa Wise Designs. Sorry, I already had to have some water. That's crazy. We barely got started. So yesterday, this is where we left off on our Christmas folio. We need to do our little flat, but we got a lot of the inside, or all of the inside matted actually. We just haven't put our flaps on and we haven't made our inserts. So we'll start working on some of that today. So if you picked up the cutting guide for this, we're going to pick back up at the top of page 8. And if you're coming in the middle of this project, this is what we are working on. This is a Dear Santa folio. And it is a simple stories paper collection called Simple Vintage North Pole. It's got a long name, but so cute. So this is where we're going with this project. So we have got to do these 3x4 cards. We got to put our flaps on, and then we got to make all of our little inserts here on both sides, like this. So let's get back started. Jump right back into it. If you want to pick up the kit, you can find all the links and the details below. Just click on that link. It'll take you to my Etsy shop where you can pick up the kit. It's less than $25 for everything that you see that you'll need to put together here. Or you can pick up the full color tutorial, 16 pages of color photos. It's got all your dimensions in it that you need to cut. Woo! And that's just $4.99. I don't know what it is about this. It's not even springtime. Why are my allergies acting up? All right, let's get back started on here. So let's grab the cut apart sheet. Looking for those 3x4 cut aparts. This paper still kills me. There we go. All right. So I decided to use this one on the front of my album because I wanted to put this snowflake charm. So see how it's got this like snowflake and this little scene where he's flying over the city of snow. So I kind of thought that went well together, and there's nothing else here to kind of take over the spotlight from this besides this real busy pattern paper. So anyway, so that's what I chose for the front. If you want to choose the same thing, it's up to you. And on the one on the inside, I chose this one right here. You can see it's just looks like it's got a piece of washi tape on it, but that's just part of the paper. And then I built a collage of stickers on top of that just to kind of gussy that up a little bit. I'm thinking those may be the only two that I used. Go back and look. Pretty sure, yeah. All right, so let's cut those out. Those little stockings, isn't that cute? So as always, we just start by taking off the branding strip. Sometimes I could really do without those on all sheets of paper here. So I'm just going to cut this in half because I need these two here. I'll put this in my scraps for now. Alright. I really wanted to work in that ho-ho-ho, but I didn't. It had some really cute cut aparts and these little stockings, and I really tried to work in this one too. So I was thinking, you know, with the amount of paper that's left and with that template that we're going to use, you could actually probably put in a couple of more inserts. I may have to do that on that one that I'm going to do for my granddaughter in the fall theme. Okay. Now I got my wheels turning. All right, so once again, I'm using Distress ink. This time I'm trying vintage photo, even though I normally would use black soot if my background paper or cardstock was black, but I'm gonna go with this little more vintagey tone. This paper just kind of screams for it. Even though my sample I made, I did use the black, but I'm kind of digging this. It really just depends, I guess, on the type of paper. All right, so on the front here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up to the back where this is more flat. And glue the this one on, making sure I get my orientation correct. Nothing worse than having upside down Santa. And believe me, I have done it. I don't know that I've done it on camera before, but I have definitely done something like that. Makes you just want to chew nails. Now I can flip this over. That. Now on this side, on the inside, glue this into place. And I really love to figure out ways to use all the beautiful stickers they put in a pack. You know, sometimes it's more difficult than others to use them up, so I try to give you different ways that I like to use the stickers. So I really like the look of this, and you could write a name, you could journal here, you could leave it just like that, or you could do what I'm gonna do and layer up your stickers. So let's kind of do some of that. Sorry about my throat, I have no clue what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna use, I think it's 5 stickers. So you can see up here on page 8, if you really wanted to look and get a closer up look, I'm sorry, I got distracted for a second, of the stickers and how I put them together. So what you want to do is you want to find this one, that's Santa's Sack of Toys. I'm gonna go ahead and take these off. What I like to do is put them on the edge of my table as I'm picking and choosing. That way they're barely stuck down. And then this one that says December, I think that says 25th at the bottom maybe, but it says Jingle in the center. I'm gonna grab that one. I'm gonna grab this big one here, holly, the big holly. There's a bunch of different ones. I'm gonna grab this holly, put that one off. I'm gonna grab one of the red tickets. This one says Jolly. So there's 4 so far. And then as I was putting it together, I needed some type of color. So this is the one I chose because I'm not going to be using the bottom. I'm just going to be using that color that sticks out. I don't know if these are tabs or what, but they are really cool, just the color part. And then I'm going to grab this one because I needed that color. So those are the 5. I think that's all the ones that I use. And then what I like to do when I pull things together is I kind of see how big the area is, and I hold them in my fingers and I just start layering them together. So what I did is I took this one that says Holiday Happiness. I just really wanted that green to show up. So I just kind of put that off to the right side of Santa's sack like this, right? And then that Jolly ticket, here we go, so you can see a little better, like this. So you can still see the Jolly and most of the ticket, but you get this green color in there also. Then I'm gonna put this Jingle one in the center, coming up here. And then to finish this off and kind of pull this together, on the top of all those, I put this holly one. See how you like that. And see if you like doing these type of things. So if you wanted to take it to the next step, you could put this on top of some black cardstock or just another one color type of cardstock you have and trim it out. Sometimes I do that, sometimes not. This one, I'm just gonna hit the edges of what I've got together. I didn't do all the edges, I'm just gonna do, I knew I was gonna do that. I didn't have that stuck on there well. Just the edges of the finished look, I'm gonna hit with some brown. But I knocked my holly off because I had not burnished it. There, now I'm gonna push them all together really well. Put the brown, kind of looks like it's one piece now. Give you another look here. And I'm gonna put this right in the center. So of course the first time I did that, I didn't do it quite that quickly. I played around with it and played around with the colors and what I needed. But through the magic of YouTube, you get to see when it's done. Okay, love, love, love. All right, so now we are moving on to putting our Velcro on. So what we want to do is we're gonna put our Velcro dot on the back of this now that it's all matted. We're gonna put the Velcro dot up here in the corner, and then we're gonna let it land where it wants to here. Just be careful that this is straight, right? That's the whole reason of having your gussets. I'm gonna open this. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I've got a good bend here so that when I put this together, that this is going to be straight and it's not going to eat at my gusset. Like, for example, you wouldn't want to put your Velcro dot on where this is doing like this. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's like it's in a strain and it's pulling it down. You want it to be straight here. Since this is not full yet, you might want to put something bulky in here, like a pencil, to kind of give you some bulk, and then pull this over. That's actually perfect, putting a pencil in there. And then that gives it some bulk where this is going to be straight. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave my pencil in there as I put this on. And that's going to give me exactly what I need. Cool. All right, so my little tray of goodness here. I'm going to grab this little Velcro dot. It is clear. One side is clearer than the other, you'll notice. So what I like to do is I like to put the clearer side here, because this is what you're going to pay the most attention to, and put the side that's not so clear right there. So this side that's a little cloudier, I'm going to place it down in the upper right-hand corner of this, just kind of out of the way here, and I'm going to get a very good burnish. Stick really well. Then this one that's more clear is going to go on this side. So the way I do that is I go ahead and put the Velcro together on top, peel the sticky off. So now this is sticky. So then when I close this down, I want to make sure I know where I am and that I've got, this is straight, and that this lands where I want it to. All right. And then give it a light burnish here. And then ever so carefully pull this up now so it doesn't pull off. All right, pencil out. I'm going to open this up where this is flat, and I'm going to give this a good burnish. There we go. So now it falls just where you want it to. Now it's a pretty strong Velcro dot, so if you did this a lot, if you pulled it up in the same spot every time, or if a kid does every time, it might buckle your cardstock a little bit, so just be a little mindful of that if you pull your hand under here. Okay, exactly what I wanted. So now this is straight, and once we put all those layers in there, it's going to bulk up. I'll show you, like this one. See, once you have all these layers in here, then it's going to kind of lay just right. Okay, moving on. Let's see, now we're going to put our B pieces in, since we've got all of this done. Oh, you know what? I don't think I put the sticker on the back. Was that in my instructions? Did I just skip it? I sure did. I decided on this. I wanted a little bit of something here. You could put one of those 3x4 cards if you wanted to. There's lots of different things you could do to this to give it a little bit of oomph. I really wanted to work in this ho 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 right here, this little banner sticker. So I'm just carefully going to peel this off. It's kind of thin. Right. And if you want to, you can put ink around the edges, whatever your style is. Like that. Okay. Good. Now, I wanted this in the bottom third, but then I kind of let these loops kind of tell me where I wanted it to land, because if you put it in just the right spot, these loops kind of end right along the edge of your cardstock. So I'm just going to kind of line up this left side right at the edge of the my pattern paper, and then kind of push this down just a little bit on the right till it ends at the end of the pattern paper, just like that. Then I'm going to kind of open this up again and burnish this on. So I've got it in the spot that I want it. Cute. Love. Love. Okay. Sorry, I skipped that. Put my stickers up, and now we're going to grab those 6 B pieces. All right. So on the top of your B pieces, when we start gluing, you're going to put glue here and fold this flap under. So if you have teeny tiny tape. I have 1/8 of an inch tape. If you had that, somehow double-sided tape for some reason, or if you had red line tape that's 1/8 of an inch, you might want to grab that, or feel free to use art glitter glue or any glue when we get there. So on my bead pieces, I'm going to turn them over where it's got this bumpy side. I'm going to use my ruler. Now I'm going to kind of get this started, but if you have any trouble because it's only 1/4 of an inch, you can put your ruler right up against that score line, and you can use your fingers, or I like to use one of my bone folders and push that up against that ruler to kind of help me get that fold a little better, because it's a really thin, excuse me, 1/4 of an inch. Sometimes difficult. So I usually have to get it started a little bit and flip it over. Okay. And so to make sure I don't get a paper cut, I like to use my bone folder. Okay, and a lot of you, or some of you may have this style bone folder. This works great too. Do that. So I'm gonna go through and get all 6 of mine. Get a really good burnish and go ahead and make those flaps turn under, just like that. Okay, I've got all 6 of my bead pieces folded on that 1/4 of an inch flap. So, like I was saying, I'm going to open this flap so you can see again on this bead piece. If you have really thin tape, like this is 1/8 of an inch, you can put it on that flap, just like this. I'm going to do this one with tape just because I can do it a little slower because it's not going to dry on me. And then I'll switch over to the glue. All right. So what we're going to do in our book, and all this is on page 9. I'm going to grab my ruler and my pencil. Here on the spine and on this first left section, I'm going to come down 3/4 of an inch. So from the, not from the top of the pattern paper, but from the top of the black cardstock, the very top of the folio, I'm going to make a mark 3/4 of an inch down. So right here, 3/4 of an inch on this left-handed side, close to the spine. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first B piece, where it's going to have glue on the top, and this is going to be turned under, and then I'm going to line up this little flap to that 3/4 of an inch line, and then also to the end of the patterned paper where you don't see that red snowflake anymore. So when you do that, you should have about 3/4 of an inch at the top, 3/4 of an inch at the bottom. You want to double check, just like that. So that's what it's going to look like. So that's going to be our first step. So I've put the book in this orientation. You can kind of see here. So here's the little flap at the back. And the flap's going to be folded under. It's going to go 3/4 of an inch from the top. It's going to be right at the edge of that patterned red snowflake paper where you don't see it anymore. Just like that. Okay, that's going to be our first one. Right here on this right-handed side. So not in the spine, but on this side. Okay. Hopefully I made that clear as mud. So I'm going to line this back up. Oh my gosh. Do I have a bald spot? I got my hair pulled back so tight. There we go. Sorry if my head is in the way. It is very difficult to line up without doing that. But I want it to be straight. Because the first one is very important because the next 2 come off of that one, right? Okay, just like this. So here's your spine. This is where the red starts on the right. And so see, this flap is right there on that side. So we don't do anything on the spine piece. Okay, so there's the first piece. Make sure I get a good burnish. All right, so I'm gonna fold this up out of my way. So now you can see this is where we glue down. So I'm gonna butt up to that next piece. So here's my next piece. As I already got it folded down, that 1/4 inch. I'm gonna put some glue here on the fold, and then I'm going to, let's see, I don't know if you can see this, that little bitty fold. It's already folded down so that it's on the back. So once we put glue there, then I will butt it up to that first piece like this, where you can't see any of the red. So it's just gonna butt right up to that one so that this one flips up like this, just like little pages in a book. All right, so wish me luck. I'm gonna do this with wet glue, and it will hold it fine. It's just messy if I don't do it right. If I get all crazy, it can get messy, and you do have to hold it because it's not instant, right? So I'm gonna try to butt this right up against the first one. Hold it in place until it catches. So it takes a few seconds on this one. But I don't want to do all of them with the tape, just in case. Because I know, well, I don't say just in case, because I'm sure the majority of people don't have like 12 different sizes of score tape or sticky tape like I do. I have lots. Lots and lots. I think I showed you. This is just like a small sample of different sizes, different types of tapes that I keep at my desk. But if you make mini albums a lot, you tend to collect and use different sizes. See, only got a little bit. So here we go. So here's flat 1 and then flat 2. And so we're going to do this one more time on this side, and then we'll repeat on the other side. So this is already folded to the back, that 1/4 inch. So I'm just going to put glue all over that little 1/4 inch flat that's already folded back. See, I've already made a mess. And then I will butt this up to the second one, trying to keep that straight as possible. I'm trying to cover up that red snowflake paper. Trying not to have any gaps. And I'm just going to kind of hold it into place. And just don't get in too much of a hurry. Just let it do its thing. You want this to catch. Okay, so here's our 3 flaps on this side. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. I am going to go ahead and make a mark just so I don't get off. 3/4 inch on the top. The last time I was off just a hair because I didn't make that mark on the opposite side. I thought, yeah, I got this. Well, guess what? Yeah, it was off enough where I could see it with the naked eye, and it was making me mad, but it's okay. Nobody else will ever notice. We're our own worst critics, right? Cleaning my glue bottle. So now you've got 3 of these left. So we're going to do the same thing. So this time I'm going to turn it in this direction and work again from the spine back this way. So, all right, so my 1/4 inch is already folded to the back. I'm just going to fold this down just so it's not in my way. Then I'm going to line up with that 3/4 inch from the top. I'm going to try my best to get it straight on that red snowflake paper and hold it down. Here we go. All right, I'm just going to do the same thing to the next 2 pieces like I did there and butt it up and be right back. Okay, I've got all 6 of my flaps on here, so this is what it looks like with the center with your 3 flaps on each side. See, your spine piece is still intact, and we went ahead and did that matting first. Kind of made our lives a little easier there. Okay, so we made it all the way through, what, page 9, some of page 10. Now we're going to put this to the side for a little bit, and we're going to start working on the inserts. So we are going to cut out this template that you got in your packet. The way I like to do this is I cut the long straight edge first. So I kind of line this up in the track of my trimmer. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you know, if you've had your trimmer a long enough time, you can kind of eyeball where that track is going to cut. So I cut off that long piece. I'm going to turn this over. Cut this. And of course you can cut this with your scissors. Some of it I will cut with my scissors. But the long straight piece to me is just easier to do this. And I'm going to cut this piece here on the tab. Turn it over. Do the same thing here. Not perfect, but it will do. So now for the rest of this, I'm going to get a pair of scissors. Just kind of go. I'm going to leave the corners along because I'm going to use my corner punch. But I'm going to just do the rest of these long straights and then try to do a decent job coming around the corner of this one. It's a little, can be a little fiddly going around that one. And do the same thing here. Like that. Okay. And then this last one's got this little swirly swirl on the side that comes up around like this. Okay. And then I'm going to grab my corner rounder. And I'm going to do this on 1/2 inch side if you're using the Wear Memory Keepers one. And do all of the corners that way. This one had that other one. This, just like that. And then if you want to try and do any of these at the top, it's a little more difficult. I'm going to try to use my scissors and kind of round this one off a little bit here. And we got a pretty decent template. Okay. So now what we're going to do, first of all, I'm going to clean up a little bit. I'm losing space in my area here. Space again. So using this, I'm going to grab a couple of sheets of paper. So you're going to choose patterns that look good from both sides if you were to fold them. Like this one, I don't know if I'm communicating that well. This one would not go well, right? Because this is just not an overall pattern. And what we want it to be is if we're folding this into those file folders, that it looks good from both sides there. So we're going to wind up with this on the outside, but I'm going to trim it on this side. And this one, you know, has got that green on one side and holly on the other. So these are the two. They both kind of have holly on it, but the Santa will be on the outside once we get done with this one. Okay. So you can start by cutting off the branding strip, but I'm going to go ahead and lay this out and do the tracing first. Couldn't think of the word. Here we go. So I'm going to start with this one that's kind of a bluish green background and with the holly. And where it says mini file folder here, I'm going to turn it to the right, where I've got the larger tab on the right and the shorter tab the bottom left, and that is how I am going to trace. So I'm going to grab 3 paper clips, and I'm going to put this in the bottom right hand corner of the paper, and I'm going to try to line this up on 3 sides. So here, and then at the bottom, I'm going to try to line this up and then clip it. Oh, I said 3 sides, sorry, 2 sides. I don't know what I'm thinking. So this side and this side. Then we're going to trim this and this here. So what you're going to do is once you've got this paper clipped in 3 places, we're just going to take our time, draw a line, come on around. you get off a little bit, that's okay. Just go back over it. Draw your template. Come on this side, draw. And go on around like that. Okay. So now I'm just going to cut this template out, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side in the same orientation. And there is a picture of it right here on middle of page 10, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my 2 mini file folders all cut out, and I use my Distress ink in that vintage photo, and I inked around the edges on both sides, so it's all both going to show. So this is what they look like, this side and this side. All right, I'm just going to put these together where the short tab is on the bottom left, the longer tab is on the top right. That's how I'm going to put them in my scoreboard and score them. So on this shorter tab here, just going to push this all the way to the right and all the way to the top, and then you're going to go on the 5-inch. Yep, double check my measurements. Yep, and make a score. You do this the same way. The short one is on the bottom left, 5-inch, and score. All right, so now we can fold those, and then I'm going to finish with some Distress ink, and I fold it the other way here on both sides. So this is what I want this one on the right to look like. I want it to be nice Santa, and it has the tab here, and then the green showing here. On this one, I'm going to fold. Add a little here. Open this up. A little here. Finish this off. Okay. And then this one's going to look like this. So, as you notice, you got the tabs going 2 different ways. So the one on the right, the tabs are on the right. The one on the left, the tabs are on the left, because you're going to go in like this into that pocket or that tuck point on your album. And so you don't want to do it opposite, and a lot of times we might be tempted to decorate them both like this. Well, then if you put it into your pocket, this is what's going to be in the pocket. This is what's going to be showing. Believe me, I've made that mistake before. So I just kind of make sure as I'm looking at this, the one on the right has tabs on the right, and the one when we make it, the one on the left has tabs on the left. Even if you need to turn them inside out, which is fine. Okay, so now we're at the top of 11, and so now we can start decorating. So here's the quandary that you have. If you want to put photos in here, go ahead and do that, and then put these stickers on, and I will show you. If you don't want to do that, you might want to hold off till you put your, come on. Till you put your photos in there. Why can't I talk today? So also on this album, I added this extra piece for an extra photo. So if you wanted to do this, I'll give you the measurements here on that green and white striped paper. It's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and you put that there, and then you put your photo on here. Now you did not get all these little white sheets of index paper. I've heard from a lot of you that you're not going to use them, and it's just kind of a waste. And so I put them on the sample, so that kind of gives you a great idea of where the photos should go, but you don't necessarily need the white papers in your kit. So this is where you could put another photo by putting that there, and then we're going to make these inserts. So let's do that. And I will show you how I did these here. So, like I'm saying, if you wanted to go ahead and put your photos here and put the stickers down, this is what it would look like. So if you don't want to do that, if you want to hold off till you put your pictures so you can put your stickers on top, then that's what I would do. But this is how you would want to finish it off. You'd put the 25 and then all through the house, and then this that says Holly Jolly there. So I don't want to put them on there now, and then you put a photo on top of it. So that wouldn't look right. So that's how that one will be finished. But we can go ahead and do this front piece here. So we're going to do some more layering. So this jolly here, I'm going to pull this off. All right, put that on the side of my table. Then we're going to need this here, this candy cane that's got some holly. So pull that off. Easy peasy. Then I'm going to do this Santa like this that's on the tag. Pull it off, and then make sure on this one that the inside of that tag pops out like so. Well, mine wound up being on the back here. There you go. So now that it looks like a tag, so there's number 3. Now it won't let go of my finger. Okay, then I wound up using another piece of holly. I used one in this shape here. It's kind of like a V shape. Used one of those. There's a couple different options. And then I needed something to kind of ground it or mat it to, and I used this here. But all you really see is the green part. We're going to kind of cover up the Santa, but I needed something to work with here. So here are these stickers. So let's start with this one and work our way up. So start with this sticker, and then go to your Jolly one. And what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of cover the Santa up on this green sticker with these swirls on the bottom of Jolly, just like so. So I don't really want to see Santa, but I need some of that grounding of this green here. So that's what that looks like, all right? So then I love this Santa tag, and see how we're going to put it on the Santa paper so it kind of mimics what we're putting it on there. I love that. So we're just going to put this behind here like Santa's face is peeking out between the J and the L's, like so. So this is how I start out when I'm doing it. I'm like, okay, so I like that, but see, now I need to bounce it out. I need something here to finish and something here to finish. So then I started looking through my stickers, and this was a great shape here, these candy canes. So I put these over to the side to kind of finish out that look on that side. And you could also, you kind of put half of that, the leg piece of this candy cane toward the front, like that if you want. Cute. And then I needed something to finish off this side, so I chose this little piece of holly to stick out. It was the right size, color, and shape. And so that's what I wound up with, except it won't stick. Come on. Come on. Here we go. So let me kind of burnish that down. So that's what you're wound up with. So like I say, if you wanted to go the extra mile, you want some extra points, put this down on some cardstock and then cut it out. And I just did not do that on this project. I wanted it to be, you know, a simple but cool project that didn't take too long but had great results from it. Not too fussy. I mean, I'm a little bit fussy how I cut paper sometimes, but not too fussy. And then on the front of this mini file folder, kind of where this tab is coming out, I just kind of nestled this into the side, just like this. And then give it a good burnish. Get all those pieces down there. Isn't that cute? Really cute. See, not too fussy, but it really brings something to it. And you've learned a way to use those stickers. And then you would put picture, picture, and then you would put some stickers over it, like this. You want it to. So there's that one. So let's move on to this one that kind of looks backwards here. So what I did on this one is I really liked a couple of these cut aparts. Remember those cut aparts from last class when I said that we were going to use, you know, cut them apart and put them in your scrap pile for now? So what I'm going to do is kind of cut these apart. Cut apart's cut apart. All right. This one I'm going to use on the tag coming up, so I'm just going to put that to the side. The socks I'm going to put up, and this little Santa. So what I did with Santa is I kind of wound up cutting it, trimming it down really close, but you could leave it at 4x4. But I wound up cutting him down to, let's see, 3 1/4 wide by 3 1/2 tall. So I really just kind of went around, and I just wanted to see that red doily piece, so about 3 1/2 tall, 3 1/4 wide. Doesn't have to be exact, but if you wanted some dimensions, I'm going to give that to you. 3 1/2 here. There we go. There we go, really cute. Just gonna hit this. Some more distress ink. You could put more stickers on this side. I always try to work in my very favorite elements. I really like this one. I thought it was so cute that they layered him like on a red dolly. So cute. So I liked that here, but then I wanted to ground him. So it sounds like what you do to a bad child, ground him. I'm gonna take this strip that I had left over, and in my sample I did, let's see, 1 by 4 7/8. So this happens to be 1 1/4 that I had left over from something. That's good enough. And so then I wanted it to go from one side to the other. So let's see. So this time when I did this, it wound up being right at 5 inches. So I'm going to cut this at 5. So you might want to see exactly how you folded yours and where you want this to land, to see how long you want it to be from one end to the other. Like the last time I said, when I did it, it happened to be 4 7/8. So I guess I was a little off on my cutting and scoring, and then on my putting it back on the scoreboard, scoring it in. There we go. That happens. So now I'm going to take this. I'm going to go about 1 inch up from the bottom. Well, I didn't want to let go. And these are rough measurements. About 1 inch up from the bottom or so. Glue that down into place. And then you're going to put your Santa here. You can overlap a little bit. You can have it come from the top, however you like. I'll show you the one that I did like this, where it's kind of coming down here. This one I think I'm going to do a little more toward the top. Just something different, just to kind of see. Really, have I said I love this paper? Because I do. Like I said, this is really what sold me on doing some more of this type of album before the end of the year. I just love this paper. Okay, you can kind of see the different types of looks here. This one was a little less than 1 inch. That must be 3/4 of an inch. No, it's about 7/8. And this is 1 1/4. And then how I layered them on there. Just a little bit of different look. So then, once you get ready to put your photos in here, I put this one sticker on here that says My Christmas List, and then I layered over that Dear Santa, and then trimmed it off. So basically it's saying, here, hey, Dear Santa, here's my Christmas list. And on this one, I really liked how this worked on this tab here to have this long Santa sticker there. And you could actually, you know, put a word or something there if you wanted to. So that's kind of how those would turn out. So we're in the home stretch. We're doing really well. I've been filming about an hour. It's probably a little less than that when I trim some of this down, but all we have left to do is our tags. So, oh no, I'm wrong. We'll do our tags, and then we'll do our little pretties here on the front. So, when I come back tomorrow, same time, same place, we will do our tags and do the fronts. And yeah, this is going to be less than 3 hours, probably 2.5 hours. So thank you guys for being here once again, and I'll see you here tomorrow. If you decide to make one of these, please go over to my Facebook group, Elisa Wise Designs, and shoot some photos over there. We would love to see that and see how you put this together and give us some inspiration. Once again, if you want to buy this kit, the details are in the comments. It's in the details section below under this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I always wind up laughing. Thank you guys so much. Bye.